So, hey guys, this is Mark. I'm going to do a little quickie live video here. It's, I don't know, it's early in the morning, drinking coffee. One way to help the neurodiverse couples, where usually it's the NT wife and the ASD husband, the ones that I work with, although the inverse can be the case as well. One way to conceptualize this business of why there's so much problem in the marriage, and this is a gross oversimplification, but it is right there in the ballpark, and that is he is low in social and emotional needs, and she is high. So we have different domains of life that we have passion in, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, financially, vocationally. So let's look at each of those in turn. Spiritually, now people have a wide range of interests, maybe not so much the people on the autism spectrum, but generally people have a wide range of interests, but they tend to favor one area. So we'll look at that first one with spiritual. So there are some people that spirituality is the main thing in their life. It is the big deal, right? They believe in prayer. They read the Bible. They go to church. They have a lot of friends and family in the church. They may go to church 2 times on Sunday, 1 on Wednesday, and they go to Sunday school and they go to prayer meeting, and that is their big focus, although they have other areas of interest too. Second one I mentioned was physical. So you have some people that's the big deal. They're always really meticulous with their diet. They work out every day, sometimes twice a day, and they're real keen on making sure that they have some muscle and that they stay lean. And they basically live at the gym, and that's their big deal. Health. Mentally was the next one, and this is not necessarily. I'm not tying this into mental health. I'm tying this into cognitive exercises. So some people, school is the big deal. Lifelong learners, they call them. And they go to school all the time. Even when in their 40s and 50s, they're always taking some classes. They're always reading, they're always investigating and learning. Learning is fun for them, and so they're always in learning mode and always trying to do cognitive exercises. Emotionally was the next one I mentioned. For these individuals, connection is super important. Sharing emotions, talking about emotions, give and take in conversation, going deep into one another. Is how did you feel about that, or what was that experience? A lot of conversation about the little nuances of what's going on in somebody else's life. So emotional connection is huge there. Socially, some people, that's the big deal for them. They've got their clubs, they have their organizations, they have their teams. They're always connecting with people. They go out. She may go out with her girlfriends quite frequently, and they always go to the same place. And so being social is the big deal. The other thing I mentioned was financially. So for some people, making money is the big deal. That's the primary thing. I mean, they have other areas of interest and they care about their family and all that too, of course, but that's the main thing. I got to have money coming in. Oh, there's this particular project I can do to maybe bring more money in. Or how can I climb the ladder over here? Maybe start my own company. Or how can I monetize this? Or how can I streamline that? How can I take this particular thing and turn it into something to make money? So money is always on their mind, making money. And then the last one I mentioned was vocational, and that is this individual, their work is the big deal. Their job is, they're kind of course, they may be married, and they value their wife and everything, but they're kind of married to their work, and their work is their partner. Their work is their partner. And so what we have, I got animals, a couple cats and a couple dogs who are waiting for breakfast here. So that's their big deal, work. They live for work. They're workaholics in some cases. So you have the NT wife who is real heavy in the social and emotional department. That's her big deal. Then you have the guy who's heavy in the vocational department. So she needs a lot of connection, ongoing, and that connection needs to be deep. He's more preoccupied with work. So you see the dichotomy there. You can see why this is not working out well. He doesn't need a whole lot of emotional, social connection. He just doesn't need it. And in many cases, doesn't even want it. She desperately wants it. And she keeps trying to nag him to connect, using nagging as a sarcastic word, which pushes him even further. It makes him want even less of a social and emotional connection. So she's keeps trying to get him to connect, and the more she tries to get him to connect, the more he wants to disconnect because he's just not wired that way. So anyway, that's the long-winded way of telling you what's going on in this neurodiverse marriage. He does not need social and emotional connection much, unless it's work-related, unless it's something to do with completing a task. Then he will need to have conversations with people and meeting of the minds and whatnot. But as far as a social emotional connection, purely for the sake of connection, doesn't need it, doesn't even want it. So she never gets it, and so she complains, and now he even wants it less. So I hope that makes sense. What do? We got to find a compromise. How do you find a compromise? I don't know. I would have to find out what your unique situation is there, because I've kind of overgeneralized here. Anyway, think of it like that. She needs a huge amount of social and emotional connection. He doesn't need it. And so there is the tug of war. And then sometimes she gives up trying to pursue him to get the connection, and she stops trying. And now we're really in trouble because she's resentful, and now he is tired of being in trouble all the time, and now we got a real mess going on. So anyway, I have groups, counseling groups, and I do one-on-one sessions as well. Links will be below this video.